Our coach punished my teammate for running to practice. Junior year of high school, we ran cross country, and we had this kid on our cross country team named, we'll call him Trey. Trey was hilarious. Absolutely hated cross country, hated our coach. But his senior year, he decided to take it serious. Like he had it. He went from like a stoner partier to like he was on a diet. Okay, lost like 15 pounds, got himself in like serious shape for cross country his senior year. Like it was the most serious we ever saw him take it. It was to the point where the whole team was like, if Trey is taking this shit serious, we all need to take this shit serious. Like that was the mentality. That was the switch that was the leader that Trey was for our cross country team. It was a summertime practice. I remember it was pretty early on in the season, probably a week or two into our off season, like our preseason training stuff. And our coach was like, "Has anyone seen Trey? One of our seniors. We're in stretching circles. Like we hadn't even started running yet. We had only done our warm up laps. We're in the middle of stretching when our coach was like, "Has anyone seen Trey?" And we were all surprised because like Trey, again, top 10 runner on the team. We're like, "No, that's crazy. Like I'm shocked he's not here." And I think a couple of us had texted him like, "Hey man, coach is looking for you. Like, are you coming to practice today?" And we didn't hear anything. So we're like halfway through stretches, and for anyone who knows where Covcath is, from the football field you can see there's this parking lot called the Gardens in the hill of Dixie Highway that kind of comes down to Covcath. And I remember we were standing around stretching, and our coach is literally bitching about Trey not being there. Like, he's a senior. What kind of example is he setting to the team? Blah, 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 blah. And a couple of us look up, and we see this kid sprinting down the sidewalk on Dixie Highway, waving his hands, cuts through the garden. And we're like, "Is that Trey?" And he's running through the Gardens parking lot towards Covcath's football field. We're like, "Coach, that's Trey." And we were all kind of like, "Fuck you, Trey's here. Look at Trey. What? We don't know why he's running here, but that's crazy. What's going on?" Trey comes running in, sweating, super out of breath, and he's like, "Sorry, coach. My road was closed this morning. He had no way of driving his car to practice. His road in his neighborhood was completely blocked off on both sides. It was closed. There was construction going on. I've never heard of anything like that, I'll admit. But dude literally ran from his house, which granted was only half a mile away, but ran from his house to cross-country practice. That's how dedicated this man was. And we all flipped the script on our coach. Right? We're like, "Coach, he ran here. He ran here." I think everyone else would have been like, "I'm not going to practice. I can't get out of my freaking driveway." Dude runs to practice. Literally runs to practice. So he did a longer warm-up than us. And again, ran to practice. Like, ran to a practice you have to go run at 5 or 6 miles. Like, that to me, you can't be more dedicated to the sport at that point in your life than running to practice. Our coach is like, "You're going to be running laps after practice because of this. You were late." And we start laughing. We think our coach is joking. We're like, "No way. No way. That's crazy. Like, he just ran here. He's already ran more than all of us before practice even started. He sprinted from his house." Not to mention the adrenaline rush of not knowing if you're going to make it on time because you can't like run with your cell phone and keys and shit in your pocket. So he has no idea if he's even going to make it to practice on time. Runs down the street and makes it to practice. So, and again, like, it'd be different if we had, like, you're 30 minutes late, we were already halfway through our run. No, we were in warm-up stretches. Like, he hadn't missed anything but a couple stretches. And our coach is like, "You'll be running laps after practice." And we're all like, "What?" Even Trey was like, Trey was legendary for that with our coach. He looks at our coach, he's like, "Coach, are you fucking serious right now? Like, I just ran here to be here with the team from my house. Like, I ran to practice." And again, to run to practice and only be like a minute or two late, like, you're less than 5 minutes late after literally sprinting from your house. Like, can you imagine the panic of like, "Fuck, I'm going to be late," and you run down a hill? Oh my gosh, it was one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed in my life. And sure enough, we got done with like a 5 or 6 mile run, and the whole run was the best because the whole lead up to the punishment we're all like, Coach, you're not really gonna make him run, right? Like, you're joking, right? He's like, no, he's gonna run after practice. And we're like, Coach, he ran to practice. Like, this is easily the most dedicated senior you have on the team right now. Like, he might not be a kiss ass, he might not be your favorite personality, but dude literally just ran here from practice. So that was crazy. And sure enough, after practice, like we all were standing out there like, is he really gonna make? And he made Trey run like 6 laps around the track. We're like, dude, you just made this kid run another mile because you made this kid run another mile plus to make up for 6 laps around the track. It's a mile and a half. You just made this kid run a mile and a half because he was 5 minutes late to practice, but ran here. So we were all like, that's crazy. Like, in the best was Trey just kept looking at Coach. He's like, Coach, I'm not running. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, this is ridiculous. This is actually an insane punishment. He's like, if you don't run the laps, you're going to be suspended from the first race. Like, it was that crazy. So that was just one of the most out-of-pocket, funniest things I've ever experienced. And that's where I feel bad for kids. Like, people really do not understand, I think. Like, it needs to be talked about more. Like, a bad coach or a bad teacher, like, that can make you hate or resent a sport or school the rest of your life. Like, that can be a life-altering experience. And I'm just thankful that we had a good group of friends and personalities on the cross-country team, because our coach was just a dick to a lot of kids for no reason whatsoever. So like if you weren't a kiss ass and didn't like fake your way through liking our coach, he was pretty shitty to you. So I will always say I'm thankful for my friends and the people that I met during cross country, because I think it just showed that, like, no matter how bad the experience is, if you're there with the right people, you can make the most of it and make it a positive outcome in your life. So that's my story from cross country. Shout out Trey, the XC legend, as he always will be. Still a contact in my phone when I get the occasional text or phone call from Trey. It says Trey, XC legend. The most legendary character that we ever had in cross country. I've got more stories about Trey, but Trey, hope you're well, and hope this video gets to you somehow. But yeah, that's today's episode, and shout out everyone that I ran cross country with, and that's it. Talks with Tom.
Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get easier? I'll be up and away up the street and bake, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see? Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more.
Our coach punished